Hi everyone, my name is Colin Cureton. I work on the commercialization team of the University of Minnesota's Forever Green Initiative, particularly on the supply side of all the perennial and winter annual crops and cropping systems under development. We work very closely with the Land Institute to support the launch, the adoption and scaling of Kernza perennial grain here in the upper Midwest. I want to call out a few other partners that I don't think have been properly acknowledged yet. Our partners there at AURI. You see Riley Gordon right there in the white. If you're interested in Kernza processing, nuts and bolts, come talk to this man. And a number of the folks on their team are here. They've been a really critical partner, along with the Land Institute. We're going to hear from the Perennial Promise Growers Co-op later, Perennial Pantry, a number of the market partners that are here. Something that's really exciting in the commercialization team is to start to see the launch of these enterprises out in the world, co-ops, B Corps, food products, food companies. I'll give you a quick lay of the land. Right now there's about 3,000 to 4,000 acres of Kernza in the world. Not a lot of acres, right? But this is brand new. As you heard Dr. Anderson say, the first Kernza variety utilizing germplasm from the Land Institute came to the University of Minnesota about 10 years ago, and in 2019 we released our first variety, MN Clearwater. Now 3 seed companies are licensed to buy, sell, grow, and distribute that variety. Albert Lee Seed House, Minnesota Native Landscapes, and Brown Seed Technologies, 2 Minnesota, 1 Wisconsin seed company. About a quarter to a third of all Kernza acres currently in global production are here in Minnesota. And in Minnesota Kernza production, about 10% of it is on your farm. So it's, as I mentioned, not a ton of acres now, but from a growth perspective, I think we scaled 10-fold last year. Just about 5 to 10-fold, because we released our first variety. First actual significant planting was last year. First really significant statewide harvest will be this year. I think we'll see the grain supply just coming out of Minnesota grow by 3 to 5-fold this year, which my colleague Connie will maybe talk about. That's what's really needed. We need to get to a reliable, high-quality grain supply so that ingredient companies and their buyers have that consistent supply they need, which is what Perennial Promise and Perennial Pantry, notice the alliterations, will talk about later. I think I could probably leave it there. Oh, the last thing I'll mention is that there is a trademark associated with Kernza perennial grain. There's a few reasons for that. One is to differentiate these improved varieties for perennial grain production for human consumption from their ancestor forage intermediate wheatgrass varieties. It's also to ensure there is a high quality of that supply. So the trademark, the product in the marketplace needs to conform to certain quality standards. And it's also to really build boundaries around a community. So we always hope for the best, but we plan for the worst, right? People, bad actors come out of the woodwork, right? So that boundary allows us to enforce those community standards, those quality standards, and to really build a community. As you'll start to see, if you're buying a grain that's grown by a Perennial Promise Growers Cooperative, processed by a B Corp, Perennial Pantry company, sold, either direct to consumer or in a food product by Patagonia Provisions or from your local grocery co-op, that supply chain looks kind of fundamentally different from what you might call a conventional food system, and the trademark is able to kind of hold all of that. And we're trying to make sure that trademark is associated with those social and economic and environmental values in the marketplace. So for interested growers, what that means is there's a couple hoops to jump through if you want to be involved, but we try to make it not that hard. So there are some vetting standards in place. If you are a grower interested to grow Kernza, there's a grower application. In the upper Midwest, that application will come to me. We'd likely have a conversation to basically make sure that you're well prepared to grow and succeed with the crop on the farm and in the market. I think I should leave it there. Connie.
I work very closely with Colin and everyone else that you saw speaking today. I sit at the very end of the work. So we have the researchers, we have the growers, we have the processors, and I'm working with a lot of the companies that you're going to meet today who are brewing, baking, distilling, milling, and getting this crop onto your dinner plate. And you are all part of that. So as eaters and communicators about what you're learning about today, yes, Bert, nicely done. You're playing an important role in all of this work as well. And people often, and especially growers, say, what is the market for Kernza? And I think you've heard here, from Colin and others, that we're in that process of discovery, we're in that process of development, but the companies here who are going to show you what they're working on are the people that are building that demand for this crop. So we're really proud to have them here as partners, and I hope you enjoy what they are going to provide for you today. When we go back, we'll have some time to meet and talk and learn about them as well. So the last thing I'll say is that this is long-term work. I think you heard Jake talking about it. We're at this very early stage, really, in this crop's development. And so, you know, having your partnership through this whole process is really important. So thank you for being here today, and just consider Colin, myself, the other researchers that you met at our meeting today as your open door to the university and to the research to get your questions answered, and again, be part of the process of getting Kernza onto people's dinner plates.